Okay, so it is the eve of Christmas Eve, and I am going to try to make eggnog. I have never done this. I don't even really like eggnog, but it's kind of been like on my bucket list to try to make from scratch. So I'm gonna do, I have no idea how much it makes, but I'm going to make from a recipe that came from Lancaster Farming in this article here. I'll share the recipe on this video. And we'll see how it goes, and then I'll add some alcohol to it later. But for right now, classic eggnog it is. If I make some of the video as I go, two disclaimers. Well, really just, two disclaimers. One, messy kitchen, don't judge. Thanks. First note is I am doubling this, which might be a little risky for the first time I've ever done a recipe, but I have enough ingredients, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with it. And then the other thing is I had no idea really what nutmeg was other than just the ground spice. So the recipe does call for freshly grated nutmeg, and that's just not happening. So instead, I'm going to start the recipe off with, I guess I just did 2 pints of heavy cream, and I'm putting in 3 teaspoons of the ground nutmeg. So here we go. Honestly, it doesn't say anything about stirring it, so I'm just going to leave it like that for right now and see what the next step is whenever all that's going to happen. So this is just supposed to be set aside. So it's on a bowl, large bowl, actually, one of my biggest, and it's just gonna sit there while I move on with the rest of the recipe. First real step is milk and vanilla. So that is 6 cups of whole milk and 2 tablespoons of vanilla. And we're going to heat that over medium heat. It says really still stirring occasionally until the bubbles form around the sides and the milk starts steaming. So really gonna have to keep an eye on this because but I've had those milk boil overs before, so no time to get distracted. Wish me luck. With the gas stove, a lot of the burners have that power burner option. I am not using that simply because of the boil over possibility. So I'm just gonna stir it a little bit and then move on to the next step. All right, and this is now me trekking out into the cold over to the shop so that I can get the thing that holds my phone here so I can record stuff without my icky gooey egg hands touching. Whoo! It's cold. It's cold. I'm fine. It's fine. We're fine. See the sheep out there? They're teeny. Oh, now you can zoom in. There we go. Can hear the ram's bell. Okay, I got what I came for. It's cold out here. All right, so this is our current egg situation here. Eventually it's got to go in there, but I want to make sure I didn't make too much of a mess. These are farm fresh eggs. They are supposed to be room temperature, so you want to take that into consideration first. It was 6 whole eggs, and now I'm working on 8 just yolks. All right, so 2/3 cup sugar is going in with the eggs and the yolk, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then it says to beat vigorously. So I'm gonna use this for 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm gonna do that, and then the hot milk will be whisked. So for right now it says beat, so I'm gonna use this thing, and then I'll get the whisk attachment when I add the milk in. So. So I'm going to now, it said to do it 3 to 5 minutes until it was thickened and pale. So this is what it looks like. So that's what I stopped at, like 4 minutes. And then I'm adding the warm milk vanilla mixture in a slow stream while whisking. So this is gonna be fun. And then eventually It says just doing to incorporate it, so mixing it all together, and then I'm gonna put it back in the pan to be going back on the stove. So I'm gonna do that next. So slow stream of milk, whisking, and then just to incorporate it, and then I'm gonna put it back on the stove. So doubling the recipe just barely fits in my KitchenAid mixer here, so note to self. So I'm stirring slowly, constantly, for about 6 minutes or until the temperature reaches 165 degrees. And I'm pretty sure when I just pointed to the candy thermometer that I'm using, I pointed to the Celsius side. So that would be a little warmer than we actually want it to be. So it actually needs to be at 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So another note to consider there before really bad things happen. And I'm just stirring constantly. So that's about 6 minutes, like I said, until the 165. So I just put in that candy thermometer. So we'll see whatever happens first. And then after that, it's really just adding it to that heavy cream nutmeg mixture that I set aside at the beginning. So it's looking good. I don't know if this is too much froth. I don't know, is too much froth a thing with eggnog? Milk egg mixture went for like a little over 6 minutes. I figured that the temperature was a little bit more important than the time because of the uncooked eggs and everything. So I went ahead and made sure it was at 165 degrees, which took about 7 minutes instead of 6, whatever. And then now we need to strain it into the heavy cream nutmeg mixture that I set aside at the beginning. So to help me with this, because I have a really tiny sieve strainer thing, I need a helper. So Leonard's gonna help me hold the strainer, and then I'm just gonna pour the mixture in. So I just strained the milk and egg mixture into the heavy cream nutmeg that was sitting aside, and now it just says it needs to be refrigerated for at least 2 hours uncovered. So I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and then we'll see at the end of it how much it actually made. We'll measure it out, and then I'll have a separate video for adding the making it more of the adult version based on a family recipe passed down. So hope you've enjoyed this so far. Again, we'll skip ahead to see exactly how much eggnog this made in 2 hours. Two hours later, still a messy kitchen. Let's go ahead and measure out that eggnog. Number 2. There you have it, guys. Doubling that recipe that we found in that Lancaster Farming article made pretty much exactly 3 equal quarts of classic eggnog. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas.